Hello, I am Eira, and I really fucking love anime, but I can't trust anyone's opinion except my own, so I have to go through all anime every season and check it out myself. So this is Finish or Fail, where I'm gonna find out if I want to finish or fail every show that aired. Kind of, sort of, not really. I am kind of copying Trixie, the Golden Witch. She started this. I got permission though to because it's basically the exact same thing. Anyway, this is every show from Winter. It's not actually every show. You may notice that it's not got anything that's on High Dive. It's not got all sequels. It has some, not all, because obviously if I haven't seen an earlier show, I'm not going to put one of its sequels on there. And it also doesn't have anything that's not on any streaming service. The reason I exclude High Dive is because High Dive recently updated their UI. They don't allow forced resolution anymore, so now if you have even the tiniest hiccup in your internet, it's like, oh, goodbye bitrate, and it's not going to come back for 10 seconds. So, it's impossible. It's literally impossible to watch or enjoy a show on High Dive. That's unacceptable. I unsubbed. It's a real shame. They got Dangers in My Heart and Gushing Over Magical Girls. I would have liked to watch those, but High Dive said, fuck you, we're going to make our site worse with this update for some reason, by removing basic features that all streaming services have. So that's their prerogative. If they wanna do that, they can. But like I said, I really fell in love with the way Trixie did these videos because they spoke to the same kind of opinion I hold, which is, like I said earlier, I can't trust anyone else's opinion. I need to check myself. I'm not as rough with my drops as she was, but I am quite harsh with my drops. If a show is bad or I'm not enjoying it, I'm just gonna drop it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'll just watch this mediocre show for some reason and just for sake of completing it. No, I'm just gonna drop shit. If it's bad, you drop it. Then I save time and I can move on to the next one and check if that one's actually good. So we're gonna go through at least 1 second of every show on this wheel. That's all. There's no free episode rule or anything else. Every show gets 1 second max. That's all I allow, because as soon as I realize it's bad or not for me, I get out of there. Also, I guess I should say this, since it's my first video, subjectivity should be implied. Obviously, if I say a show is bad, I mean bad for me. I just don't want to have to say, in my opinion, to me, blah 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 blah, with every fucking sentence I say. So I'm going to use absolutist language, like saying a show is good or bad. Just know I mean good or bad for me. Alright? So let's spend... What season is it now? Spring? It's spring, right? Spring. Yeah, it's spring now. So let's spend spring going through winter. Then we can spend summer going through spring, so on and so forth. Shows are more fun when you watch them when they're done and you don't have to wait a week. So let's just spin this wheel and see what show I'm going to watch first, and then I'm going to, it'll cut away. I'm not going to watch it on camera. We're going to cut away, and then we'll come back. And when we come back, I'll tell you what I got up to before I felt either that I had to say something, or I've dropped it, or I'm done. Okay? And also, yeah, 2 core shows are on here. Just any that finished in winter. Anything that started in winter but isn't done, not on here as well. Okay, so let's just spin the fucking wheel. What do we got? I didn't want to have to do a double call right off the bat. That's annoying. Because if I finish it, this is going to take, days before I can record the next part. Okay, whatever. Shangri-La Frontier? Is that really what the show was called? Why did I think it was Shangri-La Fantasy? Okay, whatever. I'll be back when I've finished that, I guess. Or dropped it. If I've finished or failed it. Ooh. Okay, see ya. Okay. So, I just got done watching the first episode of Shangri-La Frontier, and, yeah, this is a fucking drop. This is a fucking drop. It's not for me, I guess. Like, I can just tell what this is gonna be already. It's gonna be not funny, over-winded dialogue and shallow observations about games. It really felt like they wanted to do the typical things that a lot of anime want to do with a show like this, where they take the main character and they have them be good at video games somehow while still not knowing everything about them, because like they want to be able to explore the world and show it in all these different ways, but they also still want the main character to be OP and ridiculous. And so the way they make that happen here is by just having him be like obsessed with bad games, and then he switches over and it's like to a good game, so it's like, oh, he's used to video games but he played bad ones, so he's impressed by basic functionality in a game. And that's like what the whole second half of the episode is. It's just basic observations about video games, and it's like it's not. I don't find it interesting or funny or engaging in any way. I just find it boring. They just time skip forward and he's like, hey, look, I got this skill and I got these tools, and yep, you didn't see any of that, but I got them. And it's just skipping over anything, and the whole first half of the episode is so fucking boring. They just like it's just like he plays a shitty game and then he goes, wow, that was a shitty game for all these reasons. And then there's like a girl in a game store and she's like, is he still playing that shitty game? And the game store chick's like, yep, he's playing that shitty game. It's shitty for all these reasons. And then he comes in and then he's like, man, I beat that shitty game. It's shitty for all these reasons. Like, it's ridiculous. It's just half the episode is just boring ass dialogue. It's absolutely garbage. It's absolutely shitty. It's not funny, it's not interesting, it's boring. The character designs are also kind of ass in my opinion. The show is well made in terms of it looks good. Like it doesn't actually look good because it has like I said, I don't like the character designs, but it at least is animated well. I like some of the backgrounds. I like the colors. The color correction on this is really nice. You can't appreciate that via this video. I have it going in the background, as you can see, but it's warped out the ass because I don't want to get copyright struck. But yeah, it's basically just very boring is the main thing. I almost stopped halfway through the episode because of that scene in the game store. The scene in the game store where they just keep going on and on about shitty game mechanics. It's like, oh my god, no one fucking cares. It's so boring. And that was really hard to get through. And so I almost dropped the show there, but I pushed through because I was like, well, let's get to the actual point, right? Let's get to the actual game. But then he gets in the game and it's fucking just boring. There's no interesting plot. There's no interesting characters, really. There's nothing interesting about this game world. And they skip over anything that could be interesting because it's just like, I'm just repeating myself at this point. Boring first half, boring second half. The rest of the show is probably just going to be this very vapid, bad, unfunny dialogue that's trying to be funny, but that I don't find funny, and then go into skip forward and say, hey, I got video game skill or item, and that's the whole thing. And just these shallow observations. That's all it's got going for it. It's not very interesting. It's not very good. This is a massive drop after just one episode. Let's fucking spin the wheel again. And we're back at the wheel. Let's see what you have to say, oh holy wheel. Villainess level 99, I may be the him boss, but I'm not the demon lord. Yeah, I didn't hear much about this show, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know, so I have no clue what to think. That kind of leads me to believe that it's bad, though, since I don't remember hearing anyone really talk about it. It looks kind of generic, but Villainous shows a kind of a vibe, so maybe? I don't know. I'll come back here when I finish or fail it. Hey, that's the name of the show. Alrighty, I just got done finishing Villainous level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. It was actually pretty good. I knew going into it that it was one of these like fake, like it starts out fake kind of shows, like a Gakko Garashi or a Talentless Nana or another example that I know of but forgot, where it like starts out like very like generic, very boring. I wanted to drop it so badly after a few minutes, but I knew it was one of these things where it has a fake out start, so I kept going. And once it did get past the fake out start, I did actually enjoy it quite a bit. This is probably what I would call a main character show, and what I mean by that is like you're just watching it for the main character. There she is in the background now, not her. Yeah, there she is. Woo! Sorry about the thing. I have to warp the shit out of it so I don't get copyright struck, and also I'm in front of it, so hopefully that helps. But yeah, she's great. Yumiela, Yumela, Yumiela. She's an absolute cutie. Fantastic voice direction and acting on her. I really like what they did with that role. When it's focusing on her is when the show's at its best. And what I mean by that is that sometimes the problem is sometimes the show has action, it tries to do action, and that's very poorly done. A lot of the side characters are annoying. Action choreography and animation sucks. The animation in this show is not good. When the show's moving too much, it becomes a problem. Actually, very flat, low movement, lots of CGI as well. Um, yeah, it's not great. The direction isn't anything to write home about. Dialogue is good when it's again main character, but every outside of her, it's kind of lacking. Um, yeah, this show's a mixed bag, but like I said, it's a main character show. You watch it for Eumelia. She's great. I love her so much. She's so funny and just like deadpan and just like she's that exact type of character where as the kids on the internet would just be like, oh, like you just take a screenshot and go, I love her. Like she'll say something quirky and you just be like, I love her. It's like that kind of character. She's just so great. But yeah, show visually, rough visually. Um, if it weren't for having such a great main character, I would not have got to the end of it. A few other interesting points is Patrick, the main love interest guy. He's pretty cool. And the show actually completes the romantic subplot before the end of the show. It's like they kiss in episode 11. I was like, holy shit, the main girl and main guy have kissed in episode 11? What is this? What is this? Like, they seem like they're doing the whole constantly misunderstanding each other, not realizing that they like each other, misunderstandings abound, and it seems like it's that, like, annoying way of doing things, and they're just gonna ride that out for as long as they fucking want, aren't they? These bastards. But no, they actually finish it by episode 11, and it's like, oh, how refreshing. How refreshing. I feel like I've taken a wonderful sip of some iced tea. I'm so refreshed. Eleanor's another character that's great. She's just like, she's so silly and stupid and dumb, and I love her. Um, yeah, it's the characters. It's Eumelia, it's Patrick, it's Eleonora. I guess sometimes the other main characters are alright sometimes, but they also got issues. Uh, it actually ends. The source material hasn't ended, so I don't know if this is like an anime original end or if it like ends and then does that thing where it's like, and even though that was the expected ending, let's just keep fucking going somehow. So it's a one core show that wraps up its romantic subplot in episode 11 and then has an actual end. And it was a pretty good ending. I liked the little twist at the end where the world tries to force Alicia to still kill her because it's like the world is trying to make the plot of the game still happen. It's a villainous show, so obviously main girl is meant to be the secret final boss. I mean, the title makes that obvious. And so when she prevents that from happening and actually helps out the heroes to defeat the Demon Lord, and is then meant to reveal herself as the final boss, she obviously isn't the final boss because she's made everything be different. And so then the world like just possesses Alicia, and she stabs her and tries to kill her, and it's like the world is trying to still make the plot happen as it's meant to happen. But they prevent it. But it was a good little twist to have at the end. love and friendship saves the day, which is always great. I always love when an anime goes with that towards the end, because I just that's the kind of shit I like. I love when anime goes all in on power of friendship and love and shit. It's good shit. So yeah, I mean, I knew going in this was either gonna be total vibe and I was gonna like it, or I was gonna instantly hate it. It ended up kind of being both because of the fake out start, but I mean, yeah, no. It ended up being a vibe. I really like it. It's good for the main characters. If you don't care too much about characters and you'd want there to be more focus on plots, you'd want less silly shenanigans of quirky characters being quirky, and you care really, really a lot about the animation, even if it's still an enjoyable watch, then sure, maybe don't watch it. But if you're just like me and all you care about is enjoyment, and you end up liking the characters, then it's so worth it. Because that's all I care about at the end of the day is if I'm enjoying it. And while the CGI and animation tried its fucking best to make me hate it at some points, uh, at the end of the day, I ended up loving it because Numelia's just she's just too perfect. She's just too funny and perfect and great. Uh, yeah. And I guess that's all I have to say. Is that all my points? Pretty much, basically. It's just, yeah, it's just like surprisingly nice vibe because it just finishes. It just does it. It's just fun characters to watch. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to say. I feel like I'm not saying enough about each show. I'm worried I should like explain my thoughts even more because there probably is more I could say. Like the episode when Eleanor goes and visits her parents and chews them out for being shitty parents and is like, "You don't get to decide if I'm happy." I love that scene. I love that line. Um. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that like I'm really, I don't know. I don't know. I hope the video's enjoyable, is what I'm saying, despite me going with this more rambling style where I just speak off the cuff. Like, I'm probably going to forget to say things that I want to say, but I hope I get my point across that this show, I really liked it. It was cool. It was a vibe. Let's go spin the wheel. Yo, I'm back and I got this gay ass wheel with me. Let's go. Tell me, great and powerful wheel, what I need to watch next. Torture Princess, but the food one. This is in the famed, the now common anime subgenre of cute girl eats step one, cute girl eats food. Step two, enjoys it. And that's the show. So obviously it's gonna be a 10 out of 10, and I'm gonna I don't know. I haven't actually watched any of these cute girl eats food enjoys it shows, but I kind of want to. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be cute. Maybe I'll get bored of the gimmick after a few episodes and then stop. Maybe I'll love it. Those are like the three outcomes I see. Either I just hate it right away, I love it all the way through, or even if I love it, the gimmick gets old, and so I end up dropping it at some weird midpoint. Which would be a shame. It's a shame when you love something, but it's still so shallow you can't love it. Whatever. Let's go hit up fucking girl food. She the food. Alrighty. I just got done with episode one. No, I got partway through episode 2. I actually have episode 2 playing in the background this time instead of episode 1. But yeah, I just got done with. No, I didn't. So why do I keep saying that? Because I said it the last 2 times. I'm partway through episode 2 of Torture Princess and I'm dropping it. First episode was pretty good, but it had a few small issues. There were a few moments where it kind of lost its energy, and I was kind of like, is this working for me? I'm a little bored. But then it would like pick back up, And so overall, I enjoyed the first episode. It was pretty fun, pretty good. It has a lot of funny moments. Like when the show wants to be funny, it's funny. When it wants to be funny, it's like really funny. Or rather, I should say, when it is funny, it's like really funny. Like it's not just like normal funny. It's like pretty darn funny. I had some good laughs throughout, like full on out loud laughs. Her reaction to the ramen in episode one is particularly good. And episode two also has a moment that got me really good when she when she pulls out her phone to add the two on online, and it's just like she just has a phone. She's meant to be a prisoner trapped in the cell, and she she just fucking has her phone and can just add people online, and then she just starts being friends with them and texting them, her captors. It's hilarious, but yeah, no. Episode one was really good, and it was like each torture thing, each food torture was able to kind of keep the energy going for me. And episode two just wasn't. This video game scene that's on the background right now is not that interesting. It has its moments, but overall, it's kind of lame. Um, the the polar bear part is kind of lame. The hot spring part's kind of lame. What happens in between that? Something between the video games and the polar bear. Maybe there isn't. I feel like there was though, but maybe there wasn't. I can't remember. Anyway, point is, a lot of it's just very boring. In episode two, it's kind of losing me. I feel like it would have been better if it just stuck to the food, and I'm sure it gets back to the food, and I'm sure food's the majority of it, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's just kind of lost me at this point. Episode two is pretty boring throughout, and it's just not enjoyable to watch anymore. Like I said, those problems were already starting to appear in episode one, so really all it is a problem that it's always had, just being pushed to the forefront a lot more prominently, and I'm just like bored out of my mind. And it's such a shame because, like I said, when it's funny, I do really enjoy it, and the main character's an absolute cutie. OP has a bunch of designs for more characters that look interesting, that I want to see, but I'm not going to, because the show's just over. It's just lost me. It's just not good enough. I can't see like, if there's more episodes that are as boring as episode two, then this is gonna suck to watch. I'm not gonna put myself through that. It's just not consistently. It's not good and consistently enough for me to be interested the whole way through. So it's just a drop for me, sadly. After one episode, I got more than halfway through episode two, but I didn't finish it, so I'm not gonna say I got through two episodes. Yeah, that's a drop, sadly. Again, another drop for that one. That's a fail, not a finish. Whoa. Oh, mighty wheel, I have returned. What is your bidding? What shall be thrust upon me? Oh no, strongest is in the title. The strongest tank's Labyrinth raids a tank with a rare 9,999 resistance. Go kick try bye. Oh my god. What a terrible title, bro. What a fucking god awful piece of shit. Oh man, I don't have high hopes for this one. I'll see you back with what I suspect will be a drop. Cause my fucking god, that title. Oh, it's like every worst element of light novel titles all rolled up in a one little treat there. Well, yeah, I was right. That was pretty much just hot garbage. It's completely worthless. I dropped it after less than a single episode. I guess I technically made it halfway through the episode, but even before I hit that point, I was just like I was not looking at it. I was just looking at the Mao page, like, ooh, they got some nice voice actors. But that was it. That was I was so checked out so early. It's so boring. The direction is like really flat. Like there's nothing interesting going on with the direction. The most like basic shit imaginable. The characters are the most basic shit imaginable. The story's the most. It's all just basic. Like, it's boring. There's nothing interesting at all to grab onto. It's like, the meme, we have whatever at home. It's that, but for Shield Hero. It's like, oh, we have Shield Hero at home. It's like, oh, okay, this is just really, 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 really basic Shield Hero with like all the controversial elements removed, anything interesting removed. There's just nothing here. It's like just the most. It's so like obvious in everything it does, and so just bland and flat and terrible. There's nothing here to provide any interest or intrigue. And looking at reviews online, it seems like most people agree with me that this is some pretty hot garbage. I mean, the title's the biggest red flag fucking imaginable, so I didn't expect it. So that makes it the worst thing so far of the season, of that season. It is so far, so everything else I at least finished episode fucking 1. This is just oof. Yeah, nah. There's nothing of value to be gained here. So that's just an instant drop. Let's get the fuck out of here. Give me a good show this time, Wheel, or at least something that'll be worth. I don't know. I'm not actually that mad about. Tis Time for Torture Princess. That was a fine enough one episode. Like, episode 1 was enjoyable enough, So I don't actually hate that. This I hate. This sucks. This shit sucks.